The reredos of St Stephen's, Gloucester Road, or the backdrop to the altar, is in many ways its crowning glory, drawing our attention as it does to the east end and to the altar, glimmering and shimmering. Its lower level is made of gilded brass and enamel, and the enamel plaques have beautiful detail. The centre is the tabernacle itself, of course, and on the door you see 4 angels adoring the Lamb, the image of Jesus himself, the sacrificial victim who reveals God's love to us by giving his life away, shedding his blood for the sins of the whole world. But along the length of the shelf, or the gradine, we see the patron saints of England, of Wales, of Ireland, and of Scotland. First, if I move the camera along, we see St George. There he is in wonderful splendour. George was a soldier, a Palestinian soldier from about the 3rd and 4th centuries. We know that he was a martyr, someone who shed his blood for Christ. And legend, of course, of George and the dragon, the symbol of evil, the vanquisher of evil. There he is, about to dispatch the dragon. And beautiful angels can be seen between each of the patron saints, very much using a medieval English style. Bodley, who designed this reredos, very much wanting to return to ancient English styles of art and architecture. So were you to go to some of the churches in East Anglia which still have their medieval rood screens left, you'd see angels like this, wonderfully feathered beings. If we move along a little way from St George, dispatching the dragon, we'll come here to St Patrick. Patrick, of course, the missionary bishop to the Irish, 5th century. Interestingly, what we do know of Patrick is that he was born in northwest England, and that he went to Ireland initially as a slave. He was sold into slavery and he escaped. And following an education, he entered into the church and became a missionary bishop, a great teacher, preacher, and a very wise pastor. We'll then shift along a little bit. It's interesting how the tabernacle cuts away at some of the design here on the gradine. I wonder whether the beautiful domed surround is actually a later addition. But as we go past, we'll come next to, who's here? St Andrew. Andrew, of course, patron saint of Scotland, brother of Peter, one of the fishermen called as an apostle by the Lord. He's holding his cross, and tradition tells us that he was crucified on the cross this shape rather than using the same style cross that the Lord was crucified on. And from the cross of Andrew, we'll move along past another one of these beautiful feathered angels to David. David, 6th century missionary bishop in Wales, of course, renowned for his teaching and his preaching and his pastoral care of the people of that land. Really beautiful detail and well worth your attention. Do feel free to come and have a look at it. Do be very careful as you climb the altar steps to take a closer look, because let me tell you, these steps are a death trap. but a really beautiful set of images of the saints and of Christ, the Lamb of God.